So we have this now that this deer just ran of all the nonsense and all the praise just happening to him to these past days, They had to get away from, what you saw, remember in the few episodes, they had to get away from a crazy guy that tried to eat him that pretended like grass and saw the other deer, which the other hand got cut in the head. And let's see this here is that we have this deer that just saw some woman kind of deer, and look what they're doing. You can see now they are getting good by having love mation with this kind of girl deer. And he doesn't know this deer was an idiot because this deer that she's having, this one is a biotoxic deer filled with toxic in her body. And see what happens. That's going to be really shocking when this motor guy comes. And eventually he tries to get the grasses off. You see this guy again that tries to come back in the woods side and cut some more grass. Which mistakenly he got hit by that deer's buck that's on top of that white colored like deer. And then look what happens. Physically, he put his motor to that white woman's deer's neck, that female white deer's neck, which it costed a lot of blood, and that made that deer, when he was like smelling it, he made that other deer got cut in the neck too, in which his blood came out. And typically, when the motor guy finished check by getting the motor off, he went down too, completely down ground. And let's see how this happened. So it happened when this motor guy was seeing those like two deers on his way by trying to cut the grass, which eventually he noticed that he couldn't get his way on by cutting the grass up. And that made, when he had to stretch his hand, it caused the other deer to try to back him away by knocking his horn right on his head. And that made him his motor, which it got that other female's deer's neck, which it sliced her neck open, which was not blood, which was like chemical, like liquid, like substance, like toxic out of her neck, which she was filled with the toxic, this kind of deer. Because the reason was that deer was filled like a toxic was maybe created by a professor, like maybe the deer lost her regular blood and created and using it, maybe a professor using the creation, and made that deer got cut and made that toxic went to the motor's face, which hypnotized the motor and made the deer, it got in the deer and got toxic too, which affected the motor guy by the motor guy smelling the kind of deer toxic, the white deer's toxic, and made the motor got confused and dizzy, which toxic does to you. It messes your brain and messes everything, and it can like melt your whole body up, and which caused this motor to slice the deer's neck, which was on, and that made the deer's neck went off, and made the deer and the white deer and this guy and the motor guy intoxicated, and the deer headed off with the white deer intoxicated them down to the ground, which leaded them into secured death with those two deers and the motor toxinating. But it was all not that good. The deer should have just had a mind to just think, which he just ran from all this nonsense. Getting eaten by a guy that was a creep, you saw in the first one, and running from a motor guy that just cut off other deer's head, And which thirdly, he just saw a woman that just got in love with him, but musically didn't think by when the deer didn't have a tail on his back. But you need to know things can happen. Like attempts I can see a motor guy that just tried to slice up the white deer and just got knocked up by the buck and just got toxinated the deer with the scent of the white deer's blood, which came out and usually toxinated the motor person, which gave him a break from almost killing 2 animals, which was an atrophic bird, 1, another deer, 2, and a white deer, usually the other deer, 4, and 5, and basically himself, just toxinated. Need a break?